Hello everyone and welcome to Hersey Dispatch Game Day. I'm Ryan Contreras-Betz alongside Johnny Fahey. We're bringing you a pregame show despite the bad weather tonight. It's going to be pre-recorded, so it's a little different than our typical live stream format. But we're still trying to give you a little bit of something. Johnny, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic, ready to talk about some football.
I mean, we're always ready to talk football. This Hersey squad, we've been great all year, and we're winding down to the end now. We've already clinched a playoff spot. I think tonight, if we win, we clinch the East, confirmed.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Realistically, I think we already have clinched the East, but I think statistically, there's some numbers that
if we lose every
game, prospect, yada yada,
exactly.
There's a chance and tiebreakers. I don't know all the math. Too much for me. I'm not a math guy. But so tonight is going to be an important game for the Huskies. We face off against 1-6 Wheeling. Johnny, what are your thoughts on this Wheeling squad?
I think that there's a very low chance of Hersey losing tonight. Nothing against Wheeling, but they're not the best football team, and I think Hersey's going to come out on top by a decent amount, and I think some JV guys are going to get in tonight.
Yeah, I've been talking to a bunch of the players all week. I had Colton and Carson. Colton Gamino and Carson Grove, of course, our QB and wide receiver duo, in for a podcast yesterday morning. We might be posting that soon here, not 100% sure when we will be able to get it. But obviously we're going to take a quick look at the teams. Hersey, we beat Meadows last week 42-7, now 7-0. We clinched the state playoffs after our Week 6 victory. Our point differential is at plus 257. How does that number make you feel, Johnny?
That number, it's insane. It's games aren't even close. I don't think we've had a close game all year. We are blowing out teams. Even Prospect, who was ranked pretty high in state recently, and we blew them out, beat them by 25. I think we're one of the best teams in the state. I don't think it's close.
Obviously we are considered one of the best teams in the state, ranked number 5 by Max Preps. I believe that might be our highest ranking, at least in the 4 years I've been here.
Yeah, I think it is the highest ranking.
I would have to double check with some of my sources, see if we've got that historical fact, but there's a chance now. Wheeling, they've been an interesting program really in every sport you talk to. In the early 2000s, they were one of the best sports programs in our area. They were consistently winning divisions and all that. But they've kind of had a slump recently. They have lost the last 5 matchups versus Hersey. They last beat us in 2016. It was a 40-7 victory for Wheeling.
Yeah, the 2016 squad must have had a rough game that night, but I think we're going to win tonight, so I don't think it really matters.
Obviously 1-6. Wheeling hasn't won since Week 1 when they played Chicago North, and they had some higher hopes for the year. They didn't expect. It was a little bit of a rebuilding year for the Wheeling program under new head coach Jamarcus Moody, but 6 straight losses, negative 173 point differential. I don't know how much you can really win games when you're not scoring.
Yeah, with a point differential like negative 173, it's almost impossible to win games. And how much did they win their first game by?
Oh, it was by a 1-score game. It was a really tight game.
Very close game, and every other game has obviously not been close if that's how low the differential is.
Yeah, so tonight, in case you guys are wondering why we're pre-recording this, game start time got moved to 5 p.m. because there's some really bad weather heading our way. I know I'm going to be glad to be in the press box. Johnny, are you going to be there tonight?
I'll be in the crowd tonight.
Wow.
Will not be in the press box.
This is what we call a loyal Husky fan. He's going to actually be in the crowd. I know, actually, my brother, it's going to be his first football game he's ever been to. And I was asking him, I'm like, it's going to be raining, right? And he's like, yeah, but I haven't been to a game yet. I've got friends at Wheeling. I'm like, okay, you have your fun. I am not driving him. I've got some places to be. But it should be fun. Theme tonight is neon out. It's always a fun theme when you dress up in neon. What's your fit looking like tonight?
I don't have a fit yet. I got to go home and figure it out. I might wear the Bam Baby shirt, though. I have a neon green shirt, but...
See, I was thinking of wearing the traffic cone shirt. I think Johnny knows what the traffic cone
means. I don't have
means.
one of those, but I wish I did.
I'm talking about the Hersey Summer Camp for baseball.
Oh, my God, I do have one of those. I forgot about those.
I wish I had the shirt with me today,
are bright orange.
We, of course, have our burnt orange as our team color, but our summer camp baseball shirts were not what we expected. We looked like construction workers out there. I left neon at home. I don't think I have any neon to wear tonight.
Are you not going home before the game?
I might be going home.
It is at 5. So
it is at 5. I'm busy. I've got stuff to do, places to be. And then, of course, we got 2 home games remaining, tonight included. Next week, we face off against Elk Grove, and that theme is going to be Pajama Night. That was the student vote. Johnny, what did you vote for?
Well, I voted for the blackout, but we had to change that. So I changed it to the pajama. I voted for pajamas instead of country club. But
See,
I'm not
I voted country club.
I'm not happy with the no blackout. I wish we could have done that. It would have been cool.
Would have been fun, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
You will still have an opportunity to do that
still have
theme.
the opportunity to do
I won't. And of course, we're still going to do stuff. This isn't our last game day show. Of course, we're going to try to go live next week, weather depending. But I also anticipate doing this for basketball. Johnny, you're in for basketball.
I'm 100% in for basketball.
And I think we actually like this setup right here with the pre-recorded. This is in the team room. We got the Husky logo behind us. What's up? How we doing?
I think it's much better than the student section when there's little kids playing soccer in front of us. But
See, the student section was fun. I would definitely try to do it
I would
again.
try it again.
Basketball would be great for the student section.
I agree.
I feel like it's an easier setup there too.
100%.
But don't be surprised to see some more videos from me and Johnny right in this room. This is a fun room to be in. So obviously we're just doing a shorter pregame. We're kind of just going with the flow here. Big shout out to our man Ryan Antonucci behind the camera. You can't see him, but he's taking time out of our class period here to help us out. Let's talk about some of the games of interest. We don't have too many games of interest for the Huskies, considering we're in a very good position. We're going to be in the playoffs. So especially, I know talking to a lot of the guys, we're not going to see our starters in as long as we normally would. We want to avoid the risk of injury, especially on a messy night like tonight. Turf gets slippery, and we don't want to see anyone go down. BG is going to face off against Prospect. That's probably the biggest game for us because if BG wins, I think that guarantees. We could lose tonight, but that would clinch us the East. If Prospect loses, obviously if Prospect wins, there's still the mathematical possibility if we lose, but it's unlikely. Meadows faces off against Elk Grove tonight. That should be an interesting game. I know it's going to be a close game, but that's just because both teams are having a difficult year.
Yeah. Last week we crushed Rolling Meadows. Have we played Elk Grove yet?
No, Elk Grove's next week.
Elk Grove is next week. And then I think we're going to crush them too, honestly.
And, if we're going to talk about Meadows, we're going to try to splice this in, so you might be seeing this in post-production. We got to talk about it.
Thomas Mulder,
a 71-yard fumble return for a touchdown. The big man getting on the board. Me and Johnny were both in the student section waving the flags. That was pretty fun.
That was so much fun to watch, and everyone was in shock when people were like talking, and then they would look over and see Thomas Mulder running with the football into the end zone, and everyone was going nuts.
I mean, we have to be honest. By that point, I think the score was like 28-0. It was nearing the end of the first half. I wasn't really paying attention to the game. I know that sounds like blasphemy for me to say, but I was not paying attention to the game. I was talking to Johnny maybe even.
Yeah, we were right next to each other.
Yeah, we were like right there. We were talking about something, and then I look to my right, and all of a sudden I see Thomas running. I'm like, there's no way he has the ball.
Thomas chugging down the sideline.
And then somehow he gets in. I mean, that was the loudest the crowd was all night. I mean, it was a fun game, I guess. It was cold. I wore shorts. Was not the move. But, and then all of a sudden I see Thomas go. And then the next drive, interception. It looks like Thomas is going to have another one.
Fumble.
Stripped from behind. Thank goodness for Gus Damon picking it up. And then Nasir ran in with a 7-yard touchdown rush after a couple of failed QB sneaks. So obviously that Meadows game was fun.
Yeah, very fun to be at.
Very fun. And, the only other game of interest, this is for a couple of reasons. One, both teams have been ranked very highly in the state. Two, it's an MSL game, so it's for a conference title. It involves Barrington, who's also undefeated. That could challenge us for the conference title. I think we'll win by point differential as of right now.
Yeah.
Assuming we win out and they win out, point differential, I think we would get the crown, but we're not 100% sure. Palatine faces off against Barrington. I believe that is at Chick Anderson Stadium in Palatine. Let me double check real quickly here. Okay, it is in Palatine. I'm just going to say it because I have some friends over Palatine. After our game, I might be rushing over because that is going to be a big game. Palatine was ranked as highly as 8 in the state to start the year. Barrington, I believe, is right now 10. I don't have it up right away. Did you see?
I think that they're 10. That sounds right.
I think they're 10. It sounds right, which Barrington came out of nowhere. I mean, we got Antonucci in the back. He shocked me. He said week 1, oh, yeah, Barrington's going to win against Prospect in week 2.
I
I'm
told you that.
Johnny told me that too. Both of you guys said. I was like, no, it's not happening. I was wrong. Barrington has exceeded all expectations. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah, they're 7-0 and they're playing really good football. So it's fun to watch their games.
It really is. So we're going to do some picks for these games. BG versus Prospect. Johnny, what's a score you've got for me?
I'm going to go Prospect 28-21.
28-21. You got any big players in that one or not sure?
Not sure, honestly.
Not sure. I'm going to say BG is going to win. I'm going to go the underdog, and I'm going to say it's the same score, 28-21, but in favor of BG. I've got my man Anthony Polano. He's going to run in for 2 scores today from the running back position. He's committed to South Dakota State, I want to say. I went to middle school with AP. Good dude. I've got Meadows beating Elk Grove in a barn burner, 21-7.
I'm also taking Meadows. I'm thinking 28-7 though. I know a few kids at Rolling Meadows, and they're saying that their team's pretty good this year. So, and we played them last week. Didn't see the best of them, but they look decent from what we saw.
I mean, I will say Meadows surprised. I know a couple guys. I was talking to Johnny. I was like, oh, I don't know anyone at Meadows, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing over the loudspeaker Levi Carls with the catch. I'm like, I know Levi, and then I hear all these other names. I'm like, well, I guess I know more people than I thought. But both teams having a difficult year. But both teams, they're not as bad as their record may suggest. They just also aren't as good as us, obviously. And, for the West game, I'm going with Palatine. I'm a little biased. I think Palatine's going to win 35-21. I'm probably going to be at that game. What do you got, Johnny?
I know a few kids at Palatine that have been talking smack about Barrington, but I think Barrington's going to come out on top 7-0 against a 5-2 team. I think the momentum from their not having a loss is going to carry them to a victory.
Well, now our pick for our game tonight. Johnny, what's our final score? I mean, I think we both know who we think is going to win. We both got the Hersey Huskies winning tonight.
I think I'm going to go 49 to maybe 3, maybe nothing. One of those two. I think it's going to be a blowout.
And I'm going to take this mascot head off. Thanks, Nanook, right there. I've got a similar score. I'm going to go, a little interesting, I'm going to go 49-7. Going to get a nice even 7 touchdowns, all extra points made. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this Husky game day. A little bit of an abnormal one. Fun. We were finally able to get the mascot head. Shout out Lee Corso, College Game Day. This was fun. We'll be live streaming the game tonight. I'll be on play-by-play. We'll have Xander Burke back after a lengthy absence, finally on color. Q-Tip might pull up. Not sure what's going on there. But tune in at 5 p.m. to catch the entire game because I don't think a lot of you guys are going to be there. It's wet out. Stay at home, cuddle up with some hot chocolate with your family, enjoy some Husky football. So for Johnny Fahey, and I'm Ryan Contreras-Betz and Ryan Antonucci behind the camera, we're signing off from College Game Day. Have a great day.